Welcome all. Now we will see about Outer Space Treaty. When we see the Treaty on Principles governing the activities of state in the exploration and use of outer space, including the moon and other celestial bodies, the outer space, including the moon and other celestial bodies, is a study which is gained of importance. First, we will see the history. In 1960, in September 22nd, the UN General Assembly, by the President Eisenhower of US, proposes that Antarctic Treaty principles be applied to outer space and other celestial bodies. Soviet Union would not restrict outer space to peaceful use unless US foreign bases withheld short range and medium range missiles were eliminated. 1963 August 5th, after the signing of nuclear test ban treaty in Moscow, the Soviet Union position changed completely. In October 17, the United Nations General Assembly unanimously adopts a resolution calling upon all the states to refrain from introducing weapons of mass destruction into the outer space. Next, in 1966, the US presses for a treaty that would give further substance to the United Nations resolution. In June 16, the US and the Soviet Union submit draft treaties, and in June 19, the United Nations General Assembly approves by acclamation a resolution commending the treaty. In 1967, January 27, the treaty is opened for signature at Washington, London, Moscow. In April 25th, the US Senate unanimously consented to its ratification, and in October 10th, the treaty enters into force. It was signed by 27 January 1967 and it was entered into force on 10th October 1967. The state parties to it were 102 as on December 2013. States shall facilitate and encourage international cooperation in such investigation, the province of all mankind. The outer space, including the moon and other celestial bodies, shall be the province of all mankind. Exploration and use shall be carried out for the benefit and in the interest of all countries, irrespective of their degree of economic or scientific development, without discrimination of any kind, on the basis of equality and in accordance with international law, freedom of scientific investigation. Next, if you see, the OSMCB is not subjected to national appropriation by claim of sovereignty, by means of use of occupation, or by other means. Here, this celestial body treaty or other documents or declaration by means of use of or occupation or by means not subjected to national appropriation in accordance with international law. State parties shall carry on activities in the exploration and use of OSMCB in accordance with the international law, including the United Nations Charter, in the interest of maintaining international peace and security and in the interest of promoting international cooperation and understanding. Exclusively for the peaceful purposes, the state parties undertake not to place in orbit around the earth any object carrying nuclear weapon or any kinds of weapon of mass destruction. But you could see that North Korea was testing too many nuclear weapons in between 2017 to 2020. Install such weapons of CBs or stations, such weapons of OS in any other manner. If you could see that all state parties exclusively for peaceful purposes, the following are prohibited: establishment of military base, installation of fortifications, testing of any type of weapons, conduct military maneuvers on CBs. The following are not prohibited: use of military personnel for scientific research or for any other peaceful purposes, or use of any equipment or facility necessary for peaceful explorations. Astronauts as envoys of mankind. The state party shall regard astronauts as envoys of mankind in outer space, render to them all possible assistance in the event of accident, distress, and emergency landing on the territory of another state party on the high seas, safely and promptly return them to the state of the registry of their space vehicle, and should they have landing, and immediately inform the other state parties or the United Nations General Assembly for a phenomena they discover in OSMCB which could constitute a danger to the life or health of astronauts, shall in carrying in activities of OS and on CBs render all possible assistance to astronaut and other state parties. International responsibility. The state shall bear international responsibility for national activities in outer space, whether such activities are carried on by governmental agencies or by non-governmental entities, for assuring that national activities are carried out in conformity with the provisions set forth in the present treaty. The activities of non-governmental entities in the outer space shall require authorization and continuing supervision by the appropriate state party to the treaty when activities are carried in the outer sphere by an international organization. Responsibility for compliance with this treaty shall be borne by international organization and by state parties to the treaty participating in such organization. International liability for damages. Each state party that launches or procures the launching of an object into the outer sphere from whose territory or facility an object is launched is international liable for the damages, and another state party to the treaty or its natural or juridical person and by such object or its component parts on the earth, in the airspace or in the outer space.